G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be having a look at Lubuntu 2310. Lubuntu is one of the derivatives of Ubuntu, one of the official flavors or official derivatives of Ubuntu itself, and it uses the LXQT desktop. And they've just done an interim release 23.10. They do have their 22.04 out. And with the 23.10 release, they've decided to add in some backports for that as well, which they don't normally do, I believe, for the interim releases, but on this occasion they've done that. Lubuntu, unlike a lot of other derivatives or flavors of Ubuntu, they use calamares to install their distro, and I find calamares a very easy installer to use, so that's a plus. The other installer that Ubuntu and the other Ubuntu flavors use, nothing wrong with that installer either. It's a fairly basic installer as well. Calamares just seems to be getting a little bit more popular these days. So let's just have a quick look at what's new in Lubuntu. So Lubuntu 23.10 is supported until July 2024, and then it will move on to the 24.04 long-term support. And it does say here the system installer, they're utilizing the Calamares installer, which is the Alpha 2. It's been proven to be highly reliable since its initial use in Lubuntu 22.10. They've got a new wallpaper at login screen. So Lubuntu is an official Ubuntu flavor which uses the lightweight Qt desktop environment. It has LXQT 1.3, Qt 5.15.1, shipped with Firefox as a snap package, LBRY 7.6, VLC 3, Featherpad 1.3.5, and Discover Software Center 5.27.8. So as part of this release in Lubuntu 23.10, they've got a backport PPA with the LXQT 1.4 desktop. So we're going to be upgrading to that, and there's a repository that we can add here. So I need to hook up with that on, or this web page here at least, on the VM once we're in there. So let's have a look at the VM and check that out. Now we do have some upgrades here, so let's just quickly check the upgrades. Some upgrades there, so what we can do is apply those, put in our password. So what we're mainly going to focus on here is the release of LXQT 1.4. Currently, I think you'll find in the VM that the about LXQT is 1.3 currently. This is the 23.10, so we need to put the PPA backports in to get that up to 1.4. So we're going to check that out. It's got a LXQT-menu-data is released to replace LXMenu-data anywhere needed. Not quite sure what that means, but it's an update to the menu basically. So they've got a LXQT's file manager, and its library can now add the command for the default terminal. We'll check that out. Qt terminal supports audible bell. I'm not quite sure what the audible bell is used for in the terminal. Never done any such thing, but they've added that. The image viewer has a minimal support for color spaces now. Not 100% sure what that's about as well. So they've got an update to dbus when it comes to problems with apps like Telegram in their desktop entries. So that's all sort of, so there's some updates to that. Translations have received many updates, and there's other changes as well. So I'll take you through the changes that I'm well aware of, and we'll check those out. So upgrade is finished, so we can close that. I might just do a quick reboot on that. Let's do that. Okay, so we're back on the desktop after a reboot. Going to open Firefox. I'm going to navigate to the Lubuntu website where I can get that PPA and copy and paste it into the terminal. First, we'll just check out Firefox real quick. About Firefox. Snap for Ubuntu, so it is the Snap version, just double checking that. So we'll do a search for Lubuntu. So this is the Q terminal, and if we have a look at preferences in the behavior, they've added an audible bell, which we will see after we update to 1.4. It's not there currently. In the PC Man FM QT, you can, in the preferences, if I can find preferences, in the advanced, you can install different terminals, and then you can, once you've installed it, you can select that as using it as a default terminal. So when you do things like, if we was to open up this and open in terminal, then it will open in your default terminal from the context menu. So that's pretty handy. I did read something about fixing crashes to when deleting this navigation here. So I've deleted that and it seems to be fine. So if we just click inside here, it goes back to these tabs. That's pretty nice. LXQT Configuration Center. So in the LXQT Configuration Center here, we've got a few things. We've got appearance here. You can change a few things here if you wish when it comes to the appearance. You've also got the open box settings. Now I just want to say, we were talking about this last weekend, I think it was, or it could have been the weekend before, with Simon Quigley, who's the main lead of LXQT. I have to say that the level of polish now that they've got in the Lubuntu distro is really nice. So when it comes to, like, even this word here before was hard to read, it was sort of blocked off and cut off, and some of these areas here were, in some cases, probably some of these boxes here just didn't look refined and polished as good as they do now, and I'm happy to say that everything in here looks really good. Everything's in place and where it's supposed to be, and that was sort of not the case over, since the LXQT started in Lubuntu itself, but now they've been working hard at it and everything's looking really good. Happy to report. The other thing is, if we right click and go to desktop preferences and we go to background, we now click on browse and we get a selection of wallpapers, and it does open up in the user share Lubuntu wallpapers. So that's just really good. That's awesome. That wasn't the case before as well. So now we've got an easy selection for changing of wallpapers within Lubuntu. So you can see that they've really been working hard at it here, and that's awesome to see. So a couple of these things were my criticisms over some of the videos I've done of Lubuntu in the past, and it's good to see that a lot of this stuff has been refined and polished up, and that's really great. So what I'm going to do now is add this PPA. Just pop that in the terminal, put in your password, and remember we are on LXQT version 1.3. Press enter to continue. Let's do that. So we'll let that run and we'll come back when that's complete. Sorry, that wasn't the upgrade. That was just adding the PPA. Now I think we need to do a full upgrade. So what we can do here is, I'm just going to open, hit the Windows key and open the menu and type upgrade. Do a search for upgrade, and if you'll see here within the menu itself, there's apply a full upgrade. So that's what we're going to do. No terminal commands involved at all. So upgrade is finished, so let's close that, and we'll do, after an upgrade, we'll do a reboot. Okay, so here we are back in the desktop of Lubuntu. Let's just do an about real quick, and we are now on version 1.4. I just got to remember the things we were looking at. So first things first, the terminal, edit, and no, it was file and preferences. And in the behavior, there's supposed to be an audible bell. Let's check out desktop preferences, background, wallpapers, still working as expected. We've got the Lubuntu manual here if you ever need it. So there's a Lubuntu manual if you ever need any help with Lubuntu. We didn't actually look at the version, the previous version. I'd have to think it was 1.4. And if we go to edit and preferences, advanced, and then you can change your terminal. So that was already there previous to the upgrade anyway. Just a bit confused about the audible bell. I thought that was in the QT terminal. Help about Q terminal, sorry. So LXQT 1.4 backports. It does say here under the behavior in Q terminal an audible bell. It's been left disabled by default for the time being. But yes, there's meant to be an audible bell under the Q terminal. I'm thinking maybe it's the selection that's been made under the default terminal. What's that one? Xterm 256 color. That's probably why it's not showing up. Xterm. Oh no, that's we've got the same one. All right, no audible bell showing there. I'm not quite sure why that is, but they did say they've left it disabled. I thought that meant unchecked, or maybe disabled at the moment. It's not showing up. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about that one. So I'm really liking the default look of the Lubuntu desktop itself out of the box. I don't feel the need to do anything as far as adding any icons or themes or anything. It looks quite polished out of the box. And for a lightweight distro, it's about as good as it gets. I think you don't really need to mess around too much with those sorts of things on a lightweight distro. Although you do have the preferences here where you can change the appearance. So you do have that option. I don't mess with the QT style, but you can change all the inside of the window colors here with these selections here. I'm not going to bother with that. You can select icons. You probably can put icons in. That's not going to slow your system down too much, I wouldn't think. LXQT theme. It's using the arc theme. I think that's good enough. Don't think you need, I think I quite like arc, so I'm going to leave that anyway. And the other things I would like to check out on real hardware is just adding USBs and things like that. Just testing those sorts of things out. In graphics, you've got LibreOffice Draw and LX Image. You've got Scanlight. And sound and video, you've got VLC, Media Player, and Pulse Audio. And a few other things. Startup Disk Creator and Discover. Okay, so let's have a quick look at Discover. Discover can take a little bit long to load, but it's actually not too bad. It seems to be a lot more improved than what it was. You've got the most popular applications up top there, Editor's Choice down the bottom. If we go to update, it'll probably say we're up to date. Okay, about Discover 5.27.8. And then you got the settings in Discover. So as you can see, it's using the default snap. So I was discussing this in Linux Saloon the other week. And if we do a search for, what do I normally search for? Audacity or GIMP or things like that. So if I do a search for Audacity in all applications, you get the Ubuntu Audacity. So that's from the Ubuntu repos, you can tell. But there doesn't seem to be an Audacity snap, which I'm surprised. So if we make Ubuntu the default source, so we're looking at the Ubuntu repos now, we go to all applications and we do a search for Audacity, and search that. Now it doesn't have the Ubuntu icon up there, which means, now that's distributed by Ubuntu, okay. So just full screening Discover, you can see all the most popular and the editor's choice. Now if we have a look at the settings we can have a look at what's installed. You've got a list of installed, and anything with that Ubuntu icon means it comes from the Ubuntu repositories. So if we have a look in settings, let's just check out the settings here. You'll notice that the default source is snap. So when we do a search, I would have to think that the default source is snap. So let's just check out, let's just make sure we don't have GIMP installed on here in graphics. No, we don't. So let's just do a search for GIMP, because I know that is pretty much in all the repos. It's in snaps, it's in flatpaks. I'm pretty sure it's in snaps anyway. I need to go under all applications to do that. So let's just do that under all applications. So we've got GIMP here under the Ubuntu repos. Let's check that out. It's distributed by Ubuntu. So that's from the Ubuntu repositories. So I thought the default search was snap. So if we go back to settings, the default source is snap. So if we make Ubuntu the default source, what does that give us? Let's do a search for GIMP again. That's still the Ubuntu repositories. Now if we go back to home, you'll notice that sometimes going back home takes a long time to load. So what's happening here, if you come across this situation, you'll probably find that the snaps take quite a long time to load. So we'll make that default again. So once we make the snap the default source when we go back home, you'll notice that this thing takes quite a long time to load. Now, I don't know what the reason for that is. It seems to be just re-downloading or refreshing all the snaps, but it just takes a little while to do that. But I have noticed that I have to keep this running for a while before all the snaps start showing up. So if we just keep searching, let's just open the terminal real quick and do a snap search GIMP. I think that's how you search for snaps anyway. So there's GIMP in the snap crafters. So it's definitely there, but it doesn't appear to show up in Discover. And that may take a little while before it does start showing up. Now the default source is supposed to be snap, and then you've got the option of installing the Discover Flatpak backend. So they give you an option to install Flatpak, which is nice. So you got the best of all worlds there. I'm not sure if I'm searching this correctly or I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. As you can see, when you go home, it takes a while to reload. Maybe I'm searching under the wrong screen. We'll check that out. We'll do a search under home. Maybe that's best. And then we'll go to all applications and search for GIMP, or maybe search from home. So that's the Ubuntu repositories. Let's go home. So now I'm searching from home. I'm finding this one here is the Ubuntu one, and then this one here must be the snap one. Snap crafters, there we go. So I'm searching from the actual home page, not in all applications. That's interesting. I thought it would have shown all applications. So you've got to be under this home page to actually search and find everything. Let's try Audacity again. So there's only one Audacity, which is Snap. So that's only found the Snap one. That's under the home screen. So if we go to all applications and search for Audacity, there's the Ubuntu one. That's the Ubuntu repositories. If we go to home, yes, I've only found Snap there, but not the Ubuntu one. So yeah, I'm a little bit unsure about this default source. It'd be nice if the default source was anything that's within the system, maybe. I don't know. The default source is Snap, but the Snap wasn't showing up in all applications. It's just showing. So if we do a search for GIMP and the Snap is the default source, it's actually finding the one from the Ubuntu repositories. So I don't know if it's being a bit biased towards, or it's being set to be biased towards the Ubuntu repositories. Either way, it doesn't matter, but I'm just a bit confused on the search on Discover. It's just doesn't seem to be doing what I thought it would do, because you're not finding all the available applications from every source. Now there may be a backend that I'm missing in here. I'm not sure whether there's a plugin for searching everything. I don't know. So besides Discover, which a lot of people tend to think it's not a very good application at times, it does have its critics. That's probably one of the criticisms I'd have there is with Discover. It doesn't seem, with the GNOME software you can plug in snaps and the repos and the Flatpaks. It's got all the plugins for it. So I don't know whether Discover's, I'm not sure whether it's been purposely set up to search for the applications within the Ubuntu repos. Maybe that's the way it's been set up. Not sure. Just a bit confused on the searches there. The other thing I like about Lubuntu is their calendar here. It looks nice and modern. It's really cool. I like that. So that was a quick look at Lubuntu 23.10. I really like what I see here. It looks really nice, really well polished. They've done a lot of work on it. And I think 24.04 is going to be a really good release for these guys. I was a little bit unclear as to some of the releases and changes. So I've tried to look at some of the changes. Some of them I didn't understand what they were. I haven't really been following Lubuntu for quite a while, so I'm not really up to speed on some of those changes. I just pretty much had a look at some of the things I'm well aware of and that I've sort of been a little bit of a critic of over the past, and just wanted to have a look at how well defined and polished that those things have become since Lubuntu on the LXQT desktop has started. So and I'm really happy to see what's evolving here. It's really nice. So that was Lubuntu 23.10. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.